Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today we are finally going to begin working on relicing this poly body on the 50s Classic Vibe Stratocaster. As you can tell, this body is pretty pristine. There hardly is a mark on it. It is a 2016. There are a few little spots, but not much. We're going to try to make it look as if it's been through the ringer for 30 plus years of me playing it live on stage, dropping it, having things happen to it. We're not going to be doing a Murphy Lab style or Fender Custom Shop style relic on this. This is a polyester finished guitar. There's no need in lying about that or trying to make it look as if it is from the 50s or 60s. That's just quite simply not what I'm after with this project. So we're going to put some age on it. We're going to cut away now, and I'm going to begin the process, and through a short series of vignettes we'll just kind of look at what I do to try to put some age on this body. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, so let's get started and see what we end up with. Alright, so we are here at phase one, and after a careful examination of all of my various guitars, because as I've said in previous videos, but I'll restate it here again if this is the first video you've seen about this relicing process that I'm undertaking. I have a lot of poly guitars that I've had for a very long time, and so what I'm trying to do with this one is to get that same kind of age on it that I've gotten from my stage beaten guitars. And they seem to have, some of them do have a lot of clouding and a lot of fine scratching, but for the most part they have a smattering of really kind of like character scratches in them with a lot of little divots and dings that aren't like really apparent until you look closely at the instrument. So to try to achieve that look, I've come up with this idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the guitar body right there. And I have this box from Amazon that I saved, and we are going to fill this with gravel. I have a rock yard. I collected some gravel when the weather broke and got it out of the ice, and I've had it in here. I cleaned it up a little bit. I'm going to put some gravel in the bottom of the box, put the body in, put some gravel over the top. We're going to give it a good shake, maybe up and down a little bit, pull the body out, and see where we're at. Just see what happens. So, this is what is happening. Alright, so we got some rocks in the bottom there. I'm going to go ahead and put the body in. I think I'm going to put it with the facing part of the body, the front part of the body, down, and go ahead and dump these rocks on the remainder of it. Spread everything out here a little bit, and we're going to close the box up, and we're just going to give it some shakes, and we're going to see what happens. We'll pull it out, take a look, and see if this is a process that needs to be repeated. So anyway, here we go. We're going to give the box a shake. The body's in there with just a bunch of rocks. All right. Grab these errant rocks here. Let's take a look. Oh, that actually worked really nicely. Okay, if we take a look here, now we have a lot of really nice little character scratches. You can see like right there and through here. And then when you kind of rub your thumb against them, they kind of fade in a little bit, but they're there for sure. I think that what I'm going to do now, let's look at the back. We got just a little bit of moisture, some leaves in with those rocks. Like I said, the weather's been really rough, but that actually has achieved a very nice and natural effect. And I think that what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera. I'm going to dry the body off because there's a little bit of moisture on it. Examine these marks, and then maybe give it one more round of the shaking, and then we'll move on to the next part of the process. All right, see you in a minute. All right, I'm kind of in some harsh light here, but I am just, my mind's a little bit blown by how well this turned out. I got little divots in places. I got, you know, some really nice character on the, I mean, I'm going to put this up as close as I can because I'll be starting the next part. But if you take a good look at that, and I've got some pictures that I'm going to post as well, this just really did the trick. Like, this is what a poly finish would look like after it's been through the ringer a little bit. And that just really did it. I mean, shaking it in a box of rocks. I mean, who would have thought? And it has turned out very nice. There's even some cool, like I did a little bit of shaking like that, so there's even a little bit of, you know, wear on there that really looks like pick marks. And, you know, once the pick guard goes back on it, it's really just going to look like it's been through some stuff. You know, I could stop right here, but I kind of promised everybody that in this process we're gonna put some divots in it where we actually have some of the poly compromised. But as far as a general aging process, just to give, and I apologize again if this light is too bright and this video kind of looks like crap, but I'm just really trying to show all that fine scratching and even some deep scratching. This just really did it. I mean, that is what my black Strat looks like, pretty much, that I've had for 35 years, and I played exclusively through the 90s into the early 2000s. And this guitar has that vibe now. And that's what I've been going for the whole way with this project. I want this guitar to feel like one of my old guitars. And we're getting there. All right, let's carry on. All right, so we've put all these scratches in the body, but we want to compromise the poly a little bit. And the most realistic places where that is going to happen be right in here. I used to drop guitars all the time on the ground and get all sorts of damage in these areas. Another famous area of losing poly is around the neck pocket a little bit. Sometimes that just cracks over time because it's really thin there. The wood's really thin. So I have here a piece of paving stone from my garden, my rock garden outside. Things are frozen out there. I was gonna get a big cinder block to kind of drop the guitar on to try to hit this area here. And I'm thinking that I may try to do that with this real quick first, or maybe just drop it straight on the, you know, on the hardwood here in the shop, just straight on the floor onto that butt. I also have a nice hard metal surface right here that put a pretty good ding in it that should break through the poly. I don't want to go too crazy with this because I'm very happy with these scratches that I have. So, but I think that we're definitely going to do that, and then I may experiment with that just to put a divot somewhere. I usually end up getting some sort of mark in the upper horn or in this area just because I walk around with the guitar and go into something like that. So I might just recreate that thing on the corner of that piece of metal. But for now, we're going to take this paving stone, put it there, take the guitar, and see if gravity and luck play into putting a realistic drop mark on this guitar. All right, here we go. No further ado. Well, that definitely put a divot in it, and that is definitely indicative of a very, very bad drop. We definitely have some poly that's going to want to crack away there. So we have definitely done the job on that. I think that is our drop mark. This also reveals, as that hit that stone and broke through pretty significantly, how thick the finish is on this guitar. This guitar's finish is at least 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters thick, it looks to be. It's just crazy. So the idea of trying to sit and spider web it somehow, or to make this look like I said, a Murphy Lab or a Fender Custom Shop, or as if it had nitro on it, is just not realistic. That's what happens when you drop this on a brick. And most of that is just crystallized polyurethane that shattered, or polyester, whatever this crazy finish is on here. But the poly finish kind of crystallized and just filled that crater up. And that's just nuts. Alright, I think that given what I've seen right there, we're not going to go any further with drops like that, I don't think. But I think I am going to go over and kiss this a little bit. And I've got to think for a minute about where that would happen. I've got a Tele over there I've had forever. It's a made in Japan, 96, 72 reissue Tele. So it's a cool guitar. It's missing some stuff up here. I think we'll just try to give it a little ding here, a little whack. See what happens. Okay, so that little whack, we got a nice divot into the poly, but it's definitely not a breakthrough. Let's see if we can maybe put one over here. It's a little bit worse. Alright. That one went through a little bit. I don't think we're going to do much more of that. And then we've got our neck pocket, which still looks pretty pristine. And judging by how these other bits have kind of, broken through the finish, I think that I'm going to have to do something a little bit more nuanced on these. And think about it for a minute. All right. We'll be right back. All right. So, I found that by using this scalpel blade, I'm having some good luck creating what will be a break in the finish right around the neck heel. I have a nice little scratch and dent I manufactured using this tool right here, and I don't think I want to take it any further than that on this part. But I think on this upper horn, we're going to go ahead, and since it gets really thin right in here, we're just going to continue to kind of work and massage that finish off. And I realize I have my thumb right there in the way. And what I'm doing is just getting down in there and just very gently massaging that off. Getting it right up to the edge because that's where it would crack off. And then we'll kind of go down through here and just remove. We don't want to totally deform the wood or anything like that, and just get that finish off of there. There we go. That's just, and if you've got a proper blade with proper sharpness, that looks pretty good. All right, and now, so I think that we've created a chip there, and what I'm going to do, let's see if I can get that right up to the camera. I've created a chip there. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to really make those edges pretty crisp using the scalpel blade so that it looks like just a chunk fell off. But scraping it off like that is safe because if you just whack this, we've seen what happens. And that's a good result for that area of the guitar. Here it would just be like one of those things where the finish over time just got weak at that weak point in the wood and it came off. So we're going to make it look like that by cleaning up those edges just like a chunk came off. And then we're going to go to the final stage of relicing this polyurethane body. Alright, be right back. Alright, so here we are. I have my chip all finished up there, I took it outside and did a few little random little drops on the concrete fairly gently to kind of simulate some age around some of the edges that may not have gotten hit by the rocks as much. Done a little bit of roughing up in here, some scratches and things. But now the final phase of this process begins, and to kind of mitigate some of the more obvious relic things that happen, what I want to do now is I'm going to take automobile compound and I am going to buff the whole guitar. It should dull the finish a little bit because the automotive compound won't give quite the same luster that the original, buffing at the factory did. So that's going to be the final phase of relicking this guitar. We've got some good hits on it. The overall patina looks fantastic, especially in person. I really wish I could pick it up on the camera as well as it looks here in person. It just looks fantastic. I couldn't be more pleased with that. Some of my randomized scratching didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped, but that's to be expected because, recreating those kind of things is difficult to do because it's just a natural process, and then you're trying to do it artificially, and sometimes it works really well. In the case of this, and in the case of this ding and some other dings on there, and then some of the stuff on the inside of the horns and the heel I'm not super happy with. So I'm going to go ahead and get the buffing compound going. We're going to buff it out, and then we'll be at the conclusion of this video, and I'll give you my post-game analysis starting now. All right, so I have completed doing the relic on this body. The unfortunate thing is that in this particular light with this particular camera, it's kind of hard to see a lot of what I did. I do have pictures, so those are probably going by right now. So we'll go ahead and get started with, we did the box of rocks thing, which did a really great job of putting lots of fine scratches in this. Let's see if I shine the flashlight on here and kind of do that. Let me look at the camera. You can kind of see the clouding and all the little scratches on there. And those cover the entire body. And on the back, all through here and where the belt buckle would be, there's nice pitting that the rocks did. And like I said, the pictures are hopefully showing all of this in a little bit more detail. There's the big hit that it took when I dropped it onto the cinder block. Couple little divots through the finish here and here. Then we've got our chip out around the neck pocket. And just overall, when you see it like in sunlight or in regular natural light, not with all the, I have to have certain lighting in here or else my camera doesn't work. And that lighting is actually very flattering to the guitar. And if you see it under just normal lighting conditions, it looks like it's been through the ringer. It looks very, it definitely has, I did some rash there when I took it outside and just kind of put it on the pavement for a second. It looks like a body that has definitely been played a lot. It looks exactly like my 1982 black Strat, which, I played for years and years and years on stage, and this is giving me that same vibe. And that's what I was after, I knew that I needed some sort of, big dent down there because I always was dropping stuff, or on stage I was kind of famous for taking my guitars when I was done with them or broke a string and kind of tossing them behind my amp and just grabbing another one. And this guitar body definitely looks as if it had been tossed behind the amp for years, show after show after show. So I'm very happy, and it also doesn't look like artificial or crazy, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't going after Murphy Lab. I wasn't going after Fender Custom Shop. I just wanted a poly body that looked as if I had played it for 30 years, and that's what I've got right here. And like I said, I hope the photos are doing it justice. I'm pretty sure that they will. And well, that's how I reliced the guitar body. You saw the whole process. You see it here now. I look forward to putting the Relic hardware back on it. That'll be my next step, is I'm going to put the guitar all back together, and then we'll move on to the neck. So the next video in this series will be putting age on a polyurethane finished neck. I may have said polyester a couple times while I was at the workbench and stuff like that. I have no idea why that word came out of my mouth, but yes, this is a polyurethane finish, very thick, and we reliced it. I'm telling you, the rocks in the box was the best part. And then the dents and dings, if you want to go through the finish or have chip outs and things like that, you know, scalpel blade, a sharp metal, you know, corner like I did to get these two divots on the front. Really easy, and it looks very real. It looks very much like normal wear, and it doesn't have like an artificial crappy vibe to it. All right, if you made it this far into the video, I'd appreciate a subscribe. Likes and shares are also greatly appreciated, and leave something in the comments. I realize that it's not like, you know, jumping out at you on camera as to the fact that this thing is covered in age, but like I said, the proof is in the photography, and we'll see you next time. Hit subscribe, take care, and we'll get that neck going.